I would roll my family in this game every day.
It looks like Rocket League with machine guns without the soccer ball, basically.
What, you don't like the Jet Insta-Lock only Judge? Judge or Rock? They run Judge until they can afford it up.
You know, aiming on joysticks is dog shit.
I'm not a fan of this.
Let's not call the cages smokes, right?
Little gamble TP. You know, a little gamble TP never hurt anybody.
My aim was just utter dog shit.
Shot 9 feet up in the air, you land on the ground, you can't hear anything because your ears are just ringing and your gun's on single fire.
If they start shooting my wall, I just spam slows at them and scream, help!
When I get breach ulted, I alt F4 instantly and I go to bed.
Well, I guess I'm fucking homeless now.
Hello and welcome to episode 6 of the Gamble Stack podcast. If you haven't heard of us or don't know what we're all about here, we are a podcast that covers virtually all things Valorant. My name is Sigg, and today I'm joined as always by Boopsy as we discuss some recent matches in the pro scene and the state of a couple agents in Valorant itself. But before we get into any of that, how the fuck are you doing today, Boopsy?
Yes!
Yes. Yes, dude.
Just every episode we're gonna give more energy than the last.
All right.
Sure. I'm doing good, man. I ate a quesadilla. I had my big fucking venti coffee from Starbucks today, so I'm feeling.
What's a venti? What's that?
Fuck you. That's what it's a coffee. Doesn't matter. It's big. It's like the size of my fucking head of coffee.
Right.
So I'm locked in. I still look exhausted because of course I am.
You look great. I don't know what you're talking about.
So we use GridFam to record like both of our webcams at the same time. It's like the only we could use Discord, but it's bird piss. So
yeah,
we use GridFam, right? And I call into GridFam. I'm eating a quesadilla with I got no hat on. I look pale as fuck. It's before I turn my light on, and Sig just goes, "You are looking homeless today." So
I load in the GridFam and you're just holding a quesadilla in one hand and you're just like, look at this quesadilla.
Yeah, so of course I do look homeless. I'm fucking exhausted today. I don't know why. I get my second COVID shot tomorrow, so I'm gonna feel like ass for the rest of the week.
There's 2 shots to that?
Oh, of course there is.
I actually didn't know that.
They got to get a whole microchip in you, man. That's of course a joke.
The second one's the microchip, right?
No. So the first one, it's like, you know how you have like you install like the beta for the video game and then you get the full day one patch. I'm getting the day one patch tomorrow. So.
Oh shit.
Yeah.
You think you're gonna be feeling rough after that?
I don't fucking care. It doesn't matter.
Good deal.
I'll be fine.
Deal.
I'm old. I'll survive it.
No.
All right, so welcome to the fucking program, of course.
Of course.
Yeah. You know the fucking vibes. It's Monday. We're going to talk about some pro play. We got some other topics to get into. We're going to get into this towards the end of the episode, but I'm sure people are going to be wondering if we're going to cover it. So yes, we're going to cover the changes to Riot's privacy policy a little bit later in the episode. So if you haven't heard about that, or if you have and you're waiting to hear our thoughts, that will be coming. But you're going to have to fucking wait, right? Because we got some other shit to talk about.
Tens.
Yeah,
tens.
I'm looking at my notes and it says tens 11 times across the top of these pro play notes. So let me hear it. Let me hear about tens.
So the Sentinels just can't be beaten in North America. Apparently they won the VCT Stage 2 Challengers Finals. Change it, by the way, the title of all that bullshit, which means they got their pass, the NA pass, to go to Iceland. I don't know how many teams actually go to Iceland. There's so many fucking levels to this tournament.
Let's not hold anything in Iceland ever, right?
Why is it held in Iceland?
Isn't Iceland,
like Canada or
isn't Iceland like not icy, and then Greenland?
Isn't it Greenland is icy? Like they're backwards.
I'm pretty sure Iceland is just one big volcanic wasteland. Is it not? Am I wrong here? I might be wrong.
Apparently they got LAN tournaments for Valorant, so
they probably have
Wi-Fi in the volcano.
They probably have better internet than Toggles does, for sure.
Oh, for sure.
Just an island in the middle of the Atlantic Ocean that somehow has better internet. Anyways, doesn't matter. Yeah, Tens has been just slapping his dick on the forehead of his enemies for the past month. Ever since that BBG game. He's been on a tear.
Yeah, they haven't been the same. Like it seems like they almost like needed that to happen to wake their ass up or something.
It's like when your dog like runs out of the yard or whatever, like jumps the electric fence, and then when it comes back, it's like so sorry that it's like I got shocked on the way out and the way back. I'm never doing it again. I'm sorry. That's
got hit by a couple cars.
Yeah, it now realizes like, hey, let's lock it in. So that's for sure what happened with Sentinels.
Yeah,
um,
they Jesus, I don't even know where to start. They 3-0'd version 1 in the grand finals of this tourney. They 3-0 whoever they play in the grand finals of any tourney, it seems.
NA
Just
needs to just
give up.
fuck
NA.
off.
Yeah.
Yeah,
Yeah.
everyone who's not Sentinels, just fuck off. Just go ahead and go home. Don't waste the fucking flight.
I don't know. The team couldn't fucking be better. Shazam just seems like one of the biggest brain IGLs in the game. It's
Yeah.
kind of weird to have like your IGL be your jet. Because he plays to jet like half the time, and then he flexes over to Sova. I
Being
could
a
see a Sova
Sova
being an
jet main,
IGL.
like
Yeah, that's
those play styles could not be more different from one another.
no, I couldn't
So weird. But yeah, he has galaxy brain for sure.
for sure. Yeah.
Speaking of things that don't make sense, like being a jet Sova main, Yoru.
I almost didn't even want to put this in here because I don't want to,
I don't want to talk. No, we
how
don't.
much we trash about him.
We'll make it quick, right?
Yeah.
Yoru is starting to be a semi-standard pick on the map Bind. Now, I've got to imagine this is just for the teleport baits.
It's all baits. Like they'll have the Yoru lurk with either his TP set on the other side of the map to go back with his team, and a fake footsteps in certain places, like fake presence, fake TP noises, all that kind of shit, and then just rift on out of there, back home. Well, he's homeless. Never mind. He doesn't.
Yeah, back to his
I don't.
cardboard box.
I don't think it's as good as the teams are trying to make it out to be, because like the teams in Pro League, you don't catch them over rotating. So I could see this being good in rank.
Yeah, but here's the thing,
I don't.
right? In order to
Yeah,
bring a Yoru for the mind games, you're giving up something else.
you're giving up a duelist because
Yeah,
he's taking a duelist. Like you're giving up a Raze or the Reyna on bind. So those are
which
usually the two ran.
Reyna, of course, shouldn't exist in my video game, so that's fine. But giving up a Raze,
Right.
dude, you're giving up all that damage utility just to maybe get inside their head a little bit. Because you're not flashing shit. You're not. You just are not gonna flash anything.
Yeah, I was seeing a lot of like alt rifts through sight catching info, but I
Play Sova,
don't know,
right?
man.
Let's go ahead and play a Sova.
I don't get it, man. I don't personally understand it. I bet Emmanuel's thrilled to hear this.
Yeah, well,
I
I
don't know.
guarantee you don't see them alting into spawn with an Odin in pro play. So
It could work. Nobody's in spawn
yeah,
in pro play.
yeah,
They're not rotating. They're just holding it. Yeah.
All right. Well, good luck fucking getting there. It's the loudest thing I've ever heard in my life.
Another thing about the pro play, EU teams are starting to lean towards bringing like non-duelist comps into the game, which this has been a thing for like a week or so now. But I was watching the Liquid game from the finals. They were playing Fnatic last night. I don't know who won. Side note, no spoilers. So I only saw the first two maps, and they split it 1-1. But instead they're running like two controllers, like they're running a Viper and then smokes like Omen or Astra.
The Omen Viper is what I've been seeing a lot of.
They're relying on like a Breach or a Sky for their entire team's flashes. I've seen Sky in this more common than Breach for some reason. They're running like the double healers, and then they're bringing the Sage, and then a Killjoy or Cypher, mostly Killjoy though. But it's kind of nutty to watch. I don't know. I like watching it. It's different.
Yeah, I mean, so the Viper Omen combo makes a lot of sense. You just have so much, literally, like it's such free map control with those two operators.
Yeah, there's a lot of like bait. Like you can get a lot of fucking people out of position with that many smokes and utility and screens that they can't see behind.
Yeah, now Sky and Breach, I would always take a Breach over a Sky.
I would too.
You could just run Breach and then like Breach and Sova and then the Sage. I don't think you need a Killjoy or a Cypher with a Viper and a fucking.
That's what they've been running.
I know, but like they also run Yoru, right? So they're not. They don't.
Oh, that was NA that's been running Yoru.
Fair, but
I don't know.
Pro teams are pro teams. I think they're just trying shit out, just to try shit. Like this game's still so new and things change so often that I
the meta's
understand.
kind of just up for grabs right now, and what's being like it's so every team's running different shit, man. You used to see mirror matchups on like every map when the game first came out, but now there's at least like an agent or two different on basically every game.
Yeah, which is cool. I mean, there's basically like two ways you can take this game. You can either take it like just run shit down their throats with like double
That's
duelist.
how NA does it.
Yeah, for the longest
EU is a
time,
lot more like passive and team coordinated and patient
it's the
than
same thing
NA.
in
And
every
that's
competitive game
been
I've ever watched.
that's what I was gonna
Yeah,
say. That it's been that way. Like the NA teams are over aggressive. That's why I don't think North America could ever go to a non-duelist whatever like
comp.
EU does.
Yeah.
Because I don't know what it is about FPS, but EU's just always been more patient. Like G2 back on R6 used to punish the ever living fuck out of North America teams because they saw them as, I guess, overly aggressive. And G2 were just the most patient, disciplined people that you could put in a 5-on-5 shooter. And then they would just punish these NA dudes for making one mistake, like one time each round, and just bullying them for fucking
But
5 years,
but
four
then you'd
years.
have the same thing. Well, the like of an exact opposite scenario coming from like LATAM teams, right? Because Liquid and FaZe, which were LATAM teams in Siege,
Yeah,
would literally take it to G2's fucking back door and just knock the door down.
yeah.
Like if you're gonna be aggressive against that type of a team in a shooter like this, you have to be
You
all
have to
out.
fucking commit.
You,
Yeah,
your
you have to
balls have to
commit
be
to it. You can't just
stapled to
have
the
like
wall.
one guy
Yeah.
trying to set the tone,
No.
just
You
like
need
one
to
solo roam
you
like
need to
that.
full commit like 5 bodies and just take space wherever you're going. Which I don't know. I would like to see teams run it like that. You know, some of these NA teams that are being aggressive with like a Jet and a fucking Phoenix in the beginning, just send all 5 of them out there. Like
Well,
don't
there hasn't been a lot of NA versus anybody else besides NA that I've seen.
well,
I
it's
think the
hard right now
Iceland is
cuz
going to be like a global tournament, yeah,
everything's
because
been
you
online.
would it'd have to be on LAN or
Yeah.
else one team's got 180 ping,
Yeah, which
the
is
other
of
has
course
30. Yeah, you can't
unplayable.
even play that. Yeah,
But yeah, it'll be interesting to see once land tournaments come back. I mean, obviously this Iceland shit's happening in Iceland for some reason.
I
That's
don't know the
probably
date for
why.
that.
They're probably the only country that's like, yeah, I mean, you can do whatever you want here. Just go ahead and shine a spotlight on our fucking volcano.
uh, that's
Whatever.
good shit, dude.
Yeah.
Moving
Fucking
forward,
yeah, of course. Moving on.
Astra is a big talking point for today. Change slash nerf slash take this bitch out of my video game, please. The gravity wells, nobody fucking the
The
sucks
sucks. The
are
sucks.
way too powerful. There's no unless you are a jet with a dash or a raise with a blast back, there is no fucking counterplay at all. You're just pulled. Even like post plant, there's no counterplay. You're pulled off the spike. And on top of that, if you're in the gravity well, when it like finishes, I guess it like pops or something, it makes you vulnerable, which means you take the double damage like from Killjoy's bot thing. Blatantly overpowered, in my opinion. I fucking hate the rats are coming out of the goddamn sewers right now on it. Like all these Astra mains that are figuring out how to play her. They're just getting the fucking plant down and running to, let's say I planted in eastern US, they are running to western Iraq
Yeah.
after they plant.
they're
And they're sucking me off the spike
they're
off of an
planting
audio cue.
they're planting in South Africa and then defending it from eastern Milwaukee. Just
Yeah, that's what I'm
across
saying.
across an
It's
entire ocean.
it just
It's horrendous.
oh, I hate it. I can't stand it. Like if you have an Astra that stays alive in the post plant and then a Molly lineup, you win off of time on a post plant because she gets like I don't know how her recharges work, but I've seen her put 3 of them down on a post plant and suck somebody off 3 fucking times.
Yeah, I think they just need to nerf her the time in between her sucks. Cause right now I don't know off the top of my head what it is, but it's definitely not long enough. I know you can only put one of those
It's
down at a time. But you can put like once the one
well,
that
they
you
would
put
put like
down,
three of the stars
yes,
on
on
the
the bomb,
spot, and then they would suck one, wait however
the
long it is. I
cooldown.
don't know it off
Yeah.
the top of my head.
You
It
can
just need it's
so
a dog shit game mechanic, like sucking somebody out of position, and they're like lagging fucking back and forth the whole time they're in it,
and
and they have no
their
chance to win
accuracy
a
is
gunfight.
griefed because they
Yeah,
can
it's
yeah.
such a bad game. Like I just wish they would rework that of her. And I think she's one of the cooler agents in the game, but everybody fucking hates that I know.
Yeah, it's horrendous. Like I said, I think there is a world in which that ability can be balanced. I just think the
Yeah,
fact that
there is for sure.
she could probably get like all 5 of those off just doing sucks if she timed it right throughout the round because the cooldown isn't enough.
You don't even, I like it as a game mechanic to a degree because there's a lot of coordination with it. Like, say somebody knows a molly lineup for the fucking back corner of a site, they shoot it over the top, and then you Astra suck that corner. So when the molly lands, they get fucking sucked into it. Like, I like that kind of shit, but I think she should only get one around in their current state, how
I
strong they are.
I either think you should limit the times per round it can be used to like 1 maybe 2, or you just take away the pulling off plant thing. I know they just added that, but that's like where all the problems are coming from basically is the post plant shit. So,
That wastes so much time. That wastes 10 seconds on its own in a post plant, at least
yeah, but like
out of 45, I think.
I like the ability for like countering op angles and shit though. Like
I do like
the
that. Yeah.
ability itself, I don't have a problem with. I just have a problem with the pulling off. I have a problem with all the post plant utility, like Killjoy's Molly, it's griefed. I mean, at least you can
But you
shoot
can
that one.
juice it. You
Yeah,
can shoot it. You can blast pack. You
yeah.
can throw.
At least it
You
can be
can. There's
destroyed.
ways to get around that.
Yeah.
You can't
Whereas,
use literally. My problem with it is that there's no counterplay at
yeah,
all to this. You,
it's
I
too
mean, you
strong.
have to. And if you just like push this Astra, she's just gonna run farther back, and you're not gonna have time to defuse either way. Like,
Yeah,
it's a lose for sure in a post plant.
yeah. I take away the ability for it to suck you out of the fucking diffuser animation. Like if she's good enough to time it before you hit to time it like with because there's no audio cue before you hit the thing. So she just waits for the audio cue and then she hits her suck and you get pulled off of it and you can't get back on it for what 5 seconds and you're probably dead
And that
anyway.
takes no skill to do. That's
Yeah,
so.
exactly. There's no you don't
I,
have to line it up,
I
you
don't know.
don't have
My
to,
9-year-old cousin could do that on an Xbox 360 controller. Like, I don't.
Fresco could do that with a broken collarbone on a yeah. Yeah. We love you, Fresco. Uh,
Of course,
yeah, it just needs to be changed. I,
it's disgusting.
moving
I
on.
hate it. Yeah, fuck me.
Moving on. So, is it too easy to get a win on an eco round with how powerful some of the cheaper guns in Valorant are? And you can match those cheaper guns with agent abilities and ultimates. And you can get like 2 or 3 thrifty rounds just to kind of just fall into your lap. Like I'm thinking, you combo a Raze or a Jets ult with like a bunch of people running a Spectre and just sprinting at each, like, just sprinting, or even a fucking Frenzy,
Yeah,
just sprinting at
like
somebody. Or I've been getting
I.
sat down by the Deagle lately, the Sheriff.
Oh, I've been sitting people down with the
Yeah,
sheriff lately.
well,
Yeah, I've been on the opposite side of that for sure.
the
But
Sheriff is too strong
for 800 creds, you think so?
for 800 credit. Yeah,
I mean, you could kill a whole team in a clip
you
if
should
you
not
hit
be
your
able to get
shots.
that round 1. I don't think.
And I don't think it's a problem round one. I think as an eco though, I don't know what else other people are buying. Like, why would you buy anything other than a sheriff on an eco?
Well, if
Just
your
the
aim's
fucking
terrible
headshot
like mine
potential.
is,
You just
then
play with a shotgun on an eco,
no,
or
I
just
don't.
buy nothing.
I would rather just have a classic because I'm dead either way. So I'm either dead and giving them a sheriff, or I'm dead and I'm giving them nothing and saving more
Well,
money.
I guess you could technically call the bonus rounds. Like, let's say me and you are in a game. We won the pistol. We buy Spectre's full armor next round, win that round because they have fucking classics. And now they saved. They played the economy right. They have vandals and shit. But we've rolled so much that maybe one of us has like a jet alt or a raise alt or something by now, or run it back from a phoenix, because it's very easy to get 6 alt points if you're just rolling those first 2 rounds like that.
Yeah.
And then like you grab an orb or plant, and somebody's got to have their fucking alt by then. Like jet knives or something, when they're buying, they played their eco right, and they're not at really an advantage in that round. Like, that round still seems like a complete 50-50 to me, even though they're all running Spectres and shit, because the Spectres are so strong. Like, and then the people who died will have a sheriff, and then you combo that with like a Phoenix run it back or a Raze RPG jet knife something, and it's just so common to get this fucking snowball effect. Because if you win that round that they buy, they have to eco again, and you're up 4-0.
And their economy's reset.
Yeah, it fucking in shambles.
Yeah.
In goddamn shambles.
Yeah. It's, but like, don't lose to a Spectre, I guess, with a Vandal.
Is that what it comes down to? Well, I mean, if they cut the distance, they use flashes to push you out of spaces, out of position, shit like that, and then
Play
you're
for
close enough to be
trades.
run and gun by it. Yeah, and I don't know. How do you think there's anything they could do to make it less frequent that this happens, in your opinion, or do you like where it is?
I don't know, because like when I'm in that position where I have a Vandal and I know half their team still has Spectres because they're on a bonus.
You're swinging like wide angles.
I'm
and
wide
shit like
peeking
that
everything.
Yeah,
I'm wide peeking everything, and I'm trying to keep distance. I'm playing around their strength. I'm playing against their strengths.
that's fair for sure. Yeah.
Again, it just comes into like game sense, in the sense that it's not like game sense as to where is this person hiding, based on what's the most advantageous position, but it's the opposite of like, how do I put myself in the best position to beat out a Spectre with a Vandal? I mean, it's not that hard to do as long as you keep that in your head. The problem is the Sheriff. That's the problem.
Oh, okay.
The problem is the Sheriff, because if you put yourself into a position to beat a Spectre, you're in prime position to get your ass fucked by a Sheriff for 800 creds for some fucking reason. The one-shot potential on an 800 cred gun is like so fuck my full armor. Fuck it is what you're telling me.
The Marshal is also correct for 1100. Or is it 1000?
The Marshal
1000 or 1100.
The Marshal at least has a slower fire rate though. It has a slower fire rate.
If you're spamming a Sheriff, it's not full auto, or like it's not fully accurate.
It's not fully accurate. No, but dude, say you're pushing a guy with a Sheriff because he has a Sheriff, right? So you're trying to close the distance with a Phantom or something, and then you get within 5 meters of him, and he just goes. One of those is hitting you somewhere, so you're at minimum taking 80 damage, if not a lucky headshot just fucks you out of the game.
Does 55 a bullet, the Sheriff to the body?
Point blank.
Yeah.
So I would say if you're in that position, even if he's spam firing it, if you're close enough to him,
you're getting hit twice.
You're getting hit at least twice in the body, if not once in the head, and your round might as well be over. If you get hit twice in the body, you're down to 40 health.
So you're saying nerf the Sheriff? Is that?
I don't think the gun needs to be nerfed. I think the credits need to be increased.
Okay. So what would you put it at?
Make it 1,000.
I don't disagree. I mean, it's one of my favorite guns to fuck it. Like I run Sheriff only some unrated matches, just dicking around because it's that viable.
Yeah, I mean, you're telling me a Sheriff is it's the same creds as what or it's 200 more than a Bucky, right? Bucky's 600.
No, Bucky's 900.
You telling me a Sheriff's cheaper than a Bucky? Are you shitting me? Fuck off.
Yeah, you can't have a Bucky on the pistol round. A Bucky ain't no 600.
I don't fucking know. But
do you imagine a Bucky on the fucking pistol?
But a Sheriff being cheaper than a Bucky in this economy? Like, why?
That's kind of
why is
when
that
you put
a
it
thing?
like that doesn't make any sense.
A Sheriff being cheaper than a fucking Stinger? Why? I would peek the shit out of a Stinger before I would peek a fucking Sheriff. Are you shitting me?
So you want it at 1,000? Is that what you said?
I think if you made that 1,000 and a Stinger both 1,000, I think those guns should.
Stinger's 1,100.
Yeah, so if you drop the Stinger 100 creds and you increase.
It was 1,000, then they put it to 1,100.
It also used to be stronger than it is.
Yeah, true.
They've griefed the shit out of the running gun.
It's not used at all anymore.
No, well, it's terrible. But that's what I'm saying, though. Why is that more expensive than a fucking Sheriff? It's horrendous.
The Sheriff, in my opinion, is why it is easy to get. Well, not easy, but more frequently these happen. These thrifty rounds. Because if you land 2 fucking bullets with a Sheriff, you're in a 5v3 and you're ecoing, and then you just play the numbers. You all 5 go somewhere, trade each other.
And you're coming out on top.
To lose that. Yeah. If you use utility at all, you're coming out on top of that round. Um,
I don't dislike the sheriff in the game. I don't think it needs a nerf, damage wise or
highest
otherwise.
skill gun in the game.
It's a high
It's
skill
the
gun for
highest
sure,
skill.
but it's too cheap for what it does. Make it 1,000, maybe.
I wouldn't hate that.
Because you would still
hurt my
buy it
feelings.
in the same, like you would
I'd
still
still buy it.
you would still buy it
Yeah,
on that
almost
eco
every
round.
single. Well, I wouldn't buy it. Sometimes if I get like a kill and we plant on the pistol, I'll buy a sheriff that next round where they're all running specters. Because then I could still full buy round 3, even if I do buy that sheriff.
But would
There.
you do
And
that if it was
sometimes
1,000?
no, not if it's that, because then I couldn't afford to full buy round 3, and that'd be full throwing. So
And
then I'd maybe have to go for a ghost and go for the double dinks instead of just the one taps with the sherry.
And I think that's a choice you should be forced to make. I don't think you should just be able to buy a sheriff because like fuck it, it's cheap. Because it's too strong for that. It's too strong to just be like
nasty.
It's too strong to just be like a whatever buy, you know?
Yeah.
I'm just saying, make it maybe make it 1,000, maybe. I don't know. Yeah, you know.
What you were saying earlier about you're trying to like counter their specters when you have a vandal like wide swinging shit like that. It's a lot easier for the attacking teams to decide that, because a lot of times on our round 3, if we're down 0-2 and we got vandals, they have specters. It'll be called like, let's go C long, B long fights.
Push their
We're
shit
gonna plant for long, and we're gonna fucking all play long post plant.
Yeah.
We're not taking any close fights to shotguns, specters, deagles, any shit like that.
Judge. Yeah.
But when you're defending is where I notice it happen a lot more frequently, because they just come into a room that they force it to be close quarters on your ass, and they make you fight like close quarters, and they have fucking numbers over somebody, and then somebody gets that fucking vandal on their team, and that round just becomes a lot more winnable. It just like the snowball effect in the round happens. Their confidence goes up, all this other shit.
Which is why if we're on a bonus round on defense, we don't play defense. We push their shit in.
You push.
Yeah.
You like swing out. Yeah.
Yeah, we take the fight
that's
to them.
fair for sure. Yeah.
Because otherwise, exactly what you just said happens. You get played.
Tactical aggression is needed.
Yeah, go ahead and lock it in, swing some shit. Anyways, yeah, we talked about the jet knives on an eco.
Yeah, all that good shit.
So the run and gun meta. This is something I've been seeing a lot of content creators complaining about run and gun in this game.
Yeah. It's
I
mostly
get it.
with like Stinger, Frenzy, Spectre, of course, and then occasional Phantom.
The
DM.
Stinger, I can certainly. I mean, the Stinger has been nerfed already.
The Spectre, I think, is the most
running. Well, the Frenzy, man.
Yeah.
The Frenzy.
The Spectre is the most run and gunnable gun.
It's the most viable one to do it with, 100%. But it's still not.
I guess should make sense because it's not cheaper.
It doesn't do high damage.
Not one of the cheaper ones. I mean, to the head, it's like 80 or some shit.
Sure,
like
but if you're running gunning, you're not going to hit him in the head. You might, on accident, hit one in the head. Yeah, but sure. But if you could do the same thing with a Vandal if they're that close to you.
No. You got to go in the range and test this for yourself.
I've fucking swung corners and full autoed people with a Vandal before. Dude, we were literally 2 nights ago. We planted on split B side. We planted, and then there was 2 of them pushing me. I'm on Sage. There's 2 of them pushing me through elbow from vents or whatever. Yeah. And I knew they were both in elbow. I had a full mag in my Vandal, and I just walked at them holding mouse 1. They both died. One of them died through a wall, by the way, and then the other one just got swung.
I remember that. Yeah.
So like, you certainly can do that with a Vandal.
It's definitely it's like half as accurate as the Spectre.
Sure, it also does 3 times the damage as a Spectre.
Yeah, but I think you're just more I think the TTK on a run and gun is faster with a Spectre than a Vandal.
Depends if you hit him in head.
I think it is. Well, if you're aiming at the torso, you're just getting head. Like, you need to go in the range tonight and read a book.
Okay, I'll keep that in mind. Yeah. I'll certainly keep that in mind.
Just run and gun a couple bots from like behind the wall in the range from like that distance, strafe fully side to side, and just put your fucking crosshair just like in the middle of their chest, and watch how fast you kill them with a Spectre.
All right.
It's absurd.
All right. Yeah.
Yeah.
All right. I'll try. I mean, I'll try it. It's not something I've ever done with a Spectre. The only guns I've ever tried this with is a Frenzy and a Stinger. And the Stinger used to be ridiculous. It's not anymore.
The Stinger, yeah, they kind of. I don't even know why it's not in the meta. I don't feel like it's much worse than it used to be.
It's
for like what the gun is supposed to do. Like you're supposed to just. It's like similar to how vectors are in like PUBG and shit like that. Like they just dominate these close quarters gunfight. Just piggybacked off of a fire rate and aim punching somebody if you hit them in the head for 22 damage or whatever Stinger does.
just 11,
Petty shit.
11 damage. But you empty your clip in a quarter of a
they
second.
just dominate these, yeah, and they're not meant to get like multi kills. They're just meant to very situational.
Just get your
to
one real
dominate
quick.
these guns, yeah, just to get that one.
So
I don't think it's bad for that at all.
Instead of running a Spectre, I would just buy a Stinger and a $800 Sheriff.
You could win any amount of gunfights with that.
Yeah, too strong.
You could peek whatever the fuck you want.
Yes. Yep. You just, you could slam a guy using an op with your Sheriff.
I used to run Bucky and Sheriff on that round instead of Specters all the time. That shit was hilarious. Because I mean, you just have a Bucky for point blank,
for the long range.
not for the long range. This one you're using the left click. This one's for the close range, and then you have a fucking deagle in your back pocket. Most people down if you can hit your shots.
And you still spent less than a fucking Spectre would have been.
Yeah, all the same is.
Yeah,
no, more
1700
versus 16.
Yeah.
I mean the same thing basically. It doesn't matter.
Yeah,
you won't notice it.
No. Yeah, the run and gun meta. I don't know. I'll try it out. We'll report back on Thursday.
Okay. Do you want to take this next one?
Yeah,
I know you got a lot to say.
Yeah. So I received an email from Riot Games, I think 2 days ago. I'm just gonna read the email. Right? Just go ahead and strap in. This is kind of long. Greetings, players. We'll be updating our privacy notice and terms of service next month to allow us to improve our behavior systems around voice chat. Implement a new refund policy and set expectations that anti-cheat software may be required to play certain instances of our games in the future. You can read the new terms fully by clicking through each link, but here are some of the highlights. So I'm just going to read the highlights because this is already pretty long and it does a pretty good job of explaining what's happening. So the privacy notice. The update to our privacy notice would allow us to record and potentially evaluate voice comms when a player is using Riot voice products, starting with Valorant. In order for us to take action against players who use our voice comms to harass others, use hate speech, or otherwise disrupt your experience, we need to know what those players are saying, which is why, moving forward, we'll need the ability to analyze voice data. The relevant voice comms will only be stored or evaluated when a report or disruptive behavior is submitted, otherwise the audio will be deleted. If a violation is detected, we'll take action or remove the data when it is no longer needed for our reviews. Our privacy notice is a Riot-wide policy that requires all players, regardless of game, to accept the changes. However, Valorant is the only available game that we currently plan to utilize the ability to record voice data and review it when disruptive voice behavior is reported. So that is a lot of that's a lot of words. Basically what they're trying to say is if you have Valorant installed on your computer or any Riot Games product installed on your computer, you're going to have to accept a new terms of service, which includes this clause. Now what this clause is basically states that if you use the voice chat feature of Valorant, at least, and a report is made during that game, all voice logs will be stored and evaluated by Riot. So that's what they are openly admitting to. Now the problem, of course, is that if you're giving them permission to store and evaluate your voice comms in game, what is to say that because Valorant has access to your mic and they have the right to store and record essentially whatever they deem necessary, what's to say that even if I'm not, like, because I have Valorant installed on my computer, and when we log onto this, I don't have Valorant open or anything, but we're recording a podcast. So Sig and I are sitting here talking. How do I know that every fucking word I speak into this dumbass mic isn't being stored and evaluated by the Chinese Communist Party or whatever? You know, it doesn't matter. Choose your fucking poison, I guess. It's
In a perfect world, this is fine because in an absolutely perfect world, if it only records the game that you got reported for or the game you got reported in, then I don't see the harm in that. But like what you said, what's to say that you didn't get reported last Wednesday for calling somebody a fucking bitch, and now we're sitting here shooting the shit, talking about who knows what, and it's being recorded because that's your default mic in the Riot games, whatever, you know.
yeah.
That there's some fine lines in here.
So what I would like to say, I would like to be able to tell you, hey, if you are concerned by this, what you can do is just change your default mic to something that's not actually a mic or that isn't like not picking up.
Like when you hop off
Yeah,
or
when
just
you're
not
done
talking game.
when you're
Okay.
either when you're done playing Valorant, you just change your default mic to something that you're not using, or if you're really concerned and you don't want them to know anything, you just never use voice comms again in Valorant, which of course is going to make
Or you could just you could close out everything Riot when you're done playing, but then
doesn't
you
matter.
would have to restart it wouldn't matter. How would it
Wouldn't
not
matter
matter?
because Riot's anti-cheat has root level access to your computer. So that
You can't like close that at any point.
you can close the software, but that doesn't change the permissions it has over your computer.
Okay.
So
Jesus.
Riot has more control over your computer than you do as the owner of the computer itself. Like, you would have to spoof in order to have the amount of access that Riot's fucking anti-cheat has on your computer. You would have to like override a bunch of Windows security features and like give yourself ring level access. Which the reason they don't allow you to do that is so you don't get your identity stolen, basically. I don't know a lot about like the security
No.
rings around a computer's like infrastructure or whatever, but I do know that like regular end users of computers don't have that level of access by default because it is a security risk to themselves to have that level of access. Because like the only things that should really have like root level access, ring 0 access, is like antivirus software, or a lot of anti-cheats actually do have that level software. The difference between Riot's anti-cheat and other anti-cheats is that, like, say Battle Eye, right, or Easy
Mm-hmm.
anti-cheat, which are very popular anti-cheats, those only run an exe, so they only activate when you have the game open. Valorant's anti-cheat, Vanguard, I think it's called, runs at startup regardless. If it's installed on your computer, it is running in the
I mean, I've never
background.
seen a cheater in this game, so props to them for that. I don't
Sure,
know how somebody would cheat if it's
you
running your
can't.
whole PC.
That's
Yeah,
exactly. So you can't, which is cool. That's I don't have a problem with that. If
no.
that's what it takes to get my fucking competitive video games to be fair and balanced and cheater free, I'm fine with that. That's why I have Valorant installed on my computer. But I don't want them monitoring my microphone at all hours of the day, or even really when I'm in game. Because say I'm in game and I'm not even using push to talk. I'm talking in Discord with my friends. I still don't want Valorant. I don't want the real problem is that Riot Games is like owned by fucking, is it Tencent? Or they're majority
No.
owned by like something that has, the problem is that the company that bought out PUBG, I think it's Tencent. I don't fucking know. But there's a company in China that owns like a majority of Epic Games, Riot. They own like fucking everything except for like Activision basically. And they have heavy ties with the Communist Party in China. So like that's the big issue.
This
And I'm
goes
not even
deep then.
I'm
My
not
God.
even necessarily like anti China or whatever. But I just don't want my fucking that's the same reason I don't use Facebook. It's because I don't want the US government having all my fucking info. So that's why like I don't want anyone having all my info. It doesn't matter if it's the Chinese communist government, the US fucking pretend democratic government. It doesn't matter what fucking government it is. I don't want you having my shit. So that it is concerning from like that level. Now, I'm not trying to get into like tinfoil hat
No,
conspiracies
no,
because
no.
this is of course this is a podcast about a
This is
video
a
game,
Valorant
right?
podcast.
So if you don't agree with like what I've said here today, that's fine. I'm a dumb shit. I work at a vape shop and I have a podcast about a video game, right? So don't take what I'm saying seriously. This is just my thoughts on the new terms of service of a video game that we play. So
Yeah, like what I said about in a perfect world, I don't hate this. I actually kind of like it to a degree if the terms and service are exactly what they have typed here. That well, they didn't specify if it's only for that game. It's just if you get reported. Just I, I don't know. It's very
it's vague.
grim
It's
wording,
vague.
very vague. But like if let's say they only record the game that you get reported in, I don't hate that at all because there's been a lot of people that I've reported for this. Just like you and I have experienced streaming,
People who
just
say
people will see us, yeah, just a lot of
the end of
racism
the
stuff
game.
like
Yeah.
that because they know you're streaming.
And
Like if they see you shout out your Twitch, they'll just say a bunch of stuff that
yeah.
I mean
Yeah. So
can't be said on Twitch.
So again, if the only thing they store and record is what was actually spoken through voice chat in the game that a report
In
was
that
made,
one match,
yeah,
then
then
I'm
that's
okay
fine.
with this.
But if they record everything that goes through the microphone that's connected to voice chat, regardless of whether you're talking in voice or not, that's when the
It didn't
problem
give a
comes in.
time frame, is what I don't like in these notices, terms of service, all this. There's no time frames.
Yeah.
Like it doesn't say for that match anywhere. It doesn't even say for that fucking day. It doesn't say anything.
Yeah. Yeah. It's one of those fucking it's like the age old fucking saying where it's like those people who trade liberty for security will receive nothing neither in return, right? So it's like the same reason
Yeah.
you don't want fucking CCTV cams all over your neighborhood. Because like a government comes in and says, "Hey, we're going to install cameras everywhere," right? And then you'll
Mhm.
never get robbed, you'll never we'll be able to catch criminals faster, whatever. Sure. But also you're losing a certain amount of freedoms and liberties that you otherwise would have had if not under constant surveillance, right? You ever read the book 1984? Read a fucking book, by the way.
I have not, no.
Go ahead and it's a 112-page novel about a dude who lives in a dystopian future where the government literally observes your every action and you can be or there's no freedom of speech or even freedom of thought. So if you think the wrong things, the government will come and fucking grief your shit. And
Well,
it's that book's crazy. It was written like back
okay.
in the 50s or the 40s or something. But it's brilliant, and like a lot of people say that's like where our society's heading. It's like just too much observation. Like I carry around a fucking iPhone, right? So everything
Yeah.
I'm going about my life assuming that everything I've ever said in the vicinity of any
being
technology
recorded.
is being recorded, which fucking fine, right? I'm not a terrorist. I'm not plotting against the fucking government, so I don't fucking care. Like, what are you gonna
Do you
come?
hate your country?
Are you gonna
Oh,
come grief me because I said fuck the police driving through South Ave today? Like, no, you're not gonna fucking grief me, right? Because I listen to rap music. Like, no. But it's just the whole thought of like, it's the same reason I don't like airports anymore. It's like, sure, I don't want to die on my flight, like, right? I don't want to die today. I'm trying to go to Palm Springs, Florida, and sit on a beach and drink Coronas, right? But I also don't want you fucking going through my shit when I get on the plane. Maybe just don't let criminals fly, or don't let people who are on like a watch list fly.
No.
Yeah.
I'm fine with airport security. I think we keep it for now.
Nah, dude, fuck them.
No,
That's-
just
dude.
let you on.
I'm about to fucking go on a rant, dude. Ready?
No,
So
surely not.
I'm old enough to remember when 9/11 happened, right? That shit was
Okay.
scary. But I
I'm
remember airports before 9/11. You know what an airport was before 9/11? You ever been to a bus station where you just buy a
Yeah,
ticket and you get on the fucking... That's what an
that's
airport
what I've
was.
heard.
You buy a ticket and you get on the fucking plane. And you know what was fine for forever? That system. But one time, whether you think it was an actual terrorist attack, a false flag attack, Bush did 9/11, whatever you think, one time some shit happens, and now the world's changed forever. The same shit's happening with this COVID-19 thing right now. The whole
I mean,
world was...
airport security takes you like 15 minutes to get there. I don't think it's that
Well, you live in the
big
middle
of
of
a deal. You
nowhere,
gotta
right?
take your shoes
You
off or
live
something. I
you
don't
live
know.
in the middle of bumfuck nowhere, right? So if you live
No,
somewhere
no.
populated,
Well, the Louisville airport is the one I go to. It's usually pretty fucking busy.
15 minutes is 100% cap, by the way.
Maybe 25. It's no longer
An
than
hour
fucking
and 45
32 an hour.
minutes is what... Dude, you have to get to the airport
No
6.5
shot.
hours before your flight takes off.
Not
to
a
catch
chance in hell.
You're dumb. Come live in
I'm
New York.
flown.
Go ahead and
Flown.
live in New
Okay,
York.
okay. Well, that maybe. I mean, maybe. I mean, I've been in a lot of fucking airports.
One city in my
and it's-
state has 40 times more population
I've been
than
to
you're in.
airports around New York, and it was not longer than 30 to 40 minutes. It just wasn't.
Sure, but why? Why is
So
it
somebody doesn't blow my shit up when I'm flying over a fucking river. I don't know.
Give the pilot an AK-47 then?
That's not gonna solve a bomb strapped to a backpack that's in the fucking roof hatch next to the wing. That's not gonna What's an AK-47 gonna do? Gonna fix the plane midair and land the shit? I don't know.
I don't know.
Those things work underwater. They can do a lot. I don't know.
Yeah, exactly. I don't fucking know.
what we're talking about
I
anymore.
run a podcast about a video game. I'm not a fucking... I don't know. All I'm saying is this kind of shit that changes doesn't even necessarily fix anything. Because, like, okay, so sure, a plane hasn't been flown into a building since then, right? But we in the United States have a mass shooting once every, 3 days on average. There's just some crazy fucking white dude goes on a rampage with a fucking Glock in a Walmart.
I'm looking at Valorant recording my game audio.
Moving on.
Okay.
Moving on.
Of course.
They're also implementing a refund policy. I'm assuming...
Is that just for the gun skins? Is that what that
I'm
shit
assuming
means?
that's exactly what that means. Whatever, it doesn't matter.
Is there any details on that in this?
It says this refund policy sets
time?
out rules for what can and cannot be refunded, processes for requesting refunds, rules governing refunds related to third-party marketplaces, if applicable, like Wild Rift and Teamfight Tactics, which are available on mobile. So I'm assuming this is just for like the app store, because if you play, if you have an iPhone and you play a video game on your phone, all of the purchases go through the app store itself rather than through like the game client.
Yeah.
I'm assuming that's what it's for. So this has nothing to do with Valorant, but it's in their fucking Valorant email for some reason. Change it, by the way. Anyways, if you want to know more about this, you probably have an email waiting in your inbox as we speak, and you can also go to riotgames.com where they posted about it for more info. Either way.
Okay.
Moving on. So we got a dumb strat of the week. Oh, before we get into that, join the fucking Discord, ask us questions, you rats. Link in the description below. No listener questions this week, of course. Why would there be?
No, we don't need them.
Fuck you guys.
Show goes on.
Yeah,
dumb strat of the week is
canceled.
I wrote down 6-second Haven plan. It's probably more like 8 or 9 seconds. So you just fucking the hay bells. You can go out the mid window when you're attacking. Doesn't matter. Double blast pack / jet dash.
You need a jet and a sage to make this happen.
And the sage isn't even there by the time that I have the bomb down, man.
What you do, I'm sage, right? In this scenario. So from my perspective, what happens is the round begins. Jet, updrafts, and dashes into 3 smokes at the front of the fucking box in mid. B, whatever, which is not a bomb site, but we plant there sometimes.
Oh,
so
this is for eco rounds, by the way. This is
it's whenever you're feeling frisky. It's what it is. So by the time the plant is he's about to slam the spike into the ground by the time I get there, right? Because it's a 3.5
You're
second
walling
plant.
my shit. Is that what you're
I
saying?
put a wall to his right to grief the A connect to B. I then slow backside and I slow the C connect or the garage connect. That gives Jet time to get the fuck out of there if they want to, or to push into a rat corner with a judge if they want to. Everyone else can basically just sit at like hay bales and in mid window
No, doing nothing.
and
Holding
hold
the
for post
garage,
plant.
push out, and then post plant.
Now this is a terrible strat. Shouldn't work.
This
It does
great money. I've only been killed planting the bomb probably 1 out of 10 times doing this. It's very rare. I don't know why or how.
though. You know what
But
this
if they're
is?
not insta walling mid, it seems to be free.
This is the Valorant equivalent of what we used to do cafe top floor.
It is, yeah. You're 100% just diving in the skylight. I'm in freezer,
7
fucking
smokes and
meleeing a
7 smokes,
maestro,
3 yin candelas, and a fucking blitz jumping
planting
through.
in a random ass. Dude, it's such a good plant spot because they have no idea what the fuck's happening.
Yeah.
So many nitros have been thrown default when we've been doing that. That shit's hilarious. But yeah, this is definitely the equivalent to that.
Yeah. So we've always kind of come up with these dumb fucking, like, any game we play that's like search and destroy like this, we have just the cheesiest fucking fuck you, we're planting strats, and this is the newest one that we've come up with.
We don't show a lot of respect to our opponents.
It's so unexpected that it works. Like, it's in theory it's super
The
easy to
bomb's
deny this.
literally down in 7 seconds.
Yeah,
like
we're in
if
post
there's
plant.
not a guy on B, they're in post plant rotating off of C and A wherever the fuck their gamble stacked.
There's a minute and
Just
32 seconds
like,
left in the
happened?
round by the time we're in post plant.
It's absurd. Yeah,
It's fun. It's fun is what it is. So that's the dumb strat of the week. What we could do is we could make a video of this and post it in the Discord for anyone who wants to see it, like what we're actually talking about, because it all happens so fast.
The dumb strat of the week.
Yeah, we could do this like on Haven tonight, and I can record it on OBS and we can make a video and just whatever, doesn't matter. If you can hear the lawnmower in my in the background, I'm sorry, by the way. Apparently it's time to mow the lawn.
I do not hear it.
It's 3:50 on a Thursday or on a Monday, so mow the lawn, I guess, right?
Sure.
Yeah. All right. It looks like that is about everything on the docket. Is there anything else you want to get into while we have everybody gathered here today?
I don't have a lot. Hopefully, we'll be able to get into more about the new map Breeze on the Thursday episode. Maybe we'll play it a couple more times. Get
Not a
into
lot
the
to
meta.
say.
No,
There's not a lot to say.
I mean, unless we're I'll watch some content creators, see how in like high level, see how the map's played.
No,
why are you looking at me like that?
You will not
Yeah,
at all watch a content creator go over the map fucking Breeze.
No, not go over the map. I'm gonna watch like a pro scrim on the map.
Okay. I thought you were about to watch Sub Rosa show you some Viper lineups or something.
Some map tip. No, hell no. I want to see how it's played at a high level right now, and that's what I want to talk about.
All right, yeah.
And try to implement that shit into my own game.
Go ahead and grab an op round 3. Don't buy a fucking thing. Get an op round 3. GG's.
GG.
Yeah.
GG go next or.
Yo, okay, real quick. Let's talk about fucking Insurgency a little bit.
You want to?
Yeah, dude. So,
okay.
Sigg got me on this game, Insurgency Sandstorm. It's
the most immersive shooter.
Yeah,
it's kind of a war sim to a degree, but not. It's its own thing.
It's not Arma 3.
It's the most real. It's not squad. It's realism in a FPS. Like, it is the most grounded fucking. There's nothing outlandish in that game. It looks like I'm running through a fucking shattered building in Iraq, kicking doors down. And if I fuck up at all, I'm hit with 2 bullets or a bullet from certain guns. I'm literally dead.
Yeah. And it's also not, it's not like an easy game because
No.
So
a lot of mental discipline is needed to play this fucking game. Super slow pace.
Yeah, the difference in appearance between your teammates and the enemies is virtually nothing. So what you need to do is you need to look. I'm colorblind, so this is really hard for me.
Okay.
But there's a little fucking dot on your teammates.
You're like a different country usually. So like usually you'll be like I'm just gonna throw countries out there. Like, let's say we're U.S. and they're fucking Iraq or something. Their players will look entirely different than ours, and they'll all have like this base outfit that's kind of the same, and then they'll have like armor or shit over that. Like, a lot of times, the entire enemy team will be wearing like blue pants, just stuff like that. That like you have to identify it so fast, and if you hesitate to shoot in this game, you will be killed in a bullet. So it can be frustrating, but it's so satisfying when you're like fully locked in.
Me and
All that
Sig
good shit.
were so fucking locked in last
So
night.
immersed.
Dude, we so the maps are relatively small. I would say they're probably like 3 to 4 times the size of a Call of Duty map. But they're
They're
not
just like they're not wide. They're narrow, and you
Yes.
have objectives that open the map more and more. Like rush, like you get this site, and then it unlocks like this next fucking 2 football field lengths, and now there's a new site, and their spawn changes, your spawn changes. They can no longer go like past this restricted area, all this good shit. But yeah, go on.
It's so like you there's they're all essentially like 3 to 5 lane maps, right? So you can push up the outside of a lane and then catch like gnarly flanks on people. Me and Sig were pushing up the right side. I don't know any of the map names. We were in Afghanistan pushing up through a village, right? And we
Yeah.
get to like, so you get, if you push up far enough, you'll get to a point where you can't go any further, or else you can't use your weapon because you're like in their spawn basically. They don't want you to be a spawn camping fucking rat. So we get to that point, and there's this perfect little like building with like just enough cover that we can kind of like hunker down, and they're trying to retake the lane that we already pushed up. So me and Sig are sitting there alone behind enemy lines with like MP7s.
Near us, getting pushed by 15 Iraqi.
We're getting
soldiers
swarmed, and we're
running
just
in our building.
we're
with
so
AKs.
locked in. I'm like, I'm holding the left door, you hold the window on the right hand side, and then they
like,
they peek both of us at
I
the same time, and you just hear like, and we're like, we got him, they're all dead. It was so fucking
and then
nuts.
I calmed. I'm like, they're about to kick in the door behind us. Turn around, and then they open the door, and this guy just gets fucking
gunned down. Dude, both of us are just like just hip firing from 5 meters out. Just oh god, dude, that game is so much fun.
It is.
We'll be, if you're interested in seeing this game, we'll be streaming it probably at some point throughout the week here. I have a feeling we'll play Valorant tonight, but we'll be streaming a little bit of this game.
We can play both.
Yeah,
it doesn't matter.
You know, start it off.
We play a lot.
Yeah,
we play a lot of games, so don't be surprised if we talk about different games like this, or like when Battlefield 6 comes out. I'm definitely going to be mentioning some shit about that.
I'm taking
a Battlefield guy.
I'm taking a full month break from Valorant when Battlefield comes out, and I'm just gonna. Oh god.
Yeah. we play some PUBG. We play a lot of different games, so we'll definitely have some little skits like this where we talk about other games for like 5, 10, 15 minutes on certain days.
Yeah. So if you've never like, I had never played like a real tac shooter like this before. Like, I'd played Rainbow Six Siege, which I guess is like,
it was for a while. Yeah. It was kind of like that, but now they've added so much shit that it's like,
it's just not.
Okay. Yeah, when the base ops in the start of the game, the old recoil, that was like a raw tac shooter for sure. But now it's, I don't know what it is.
It's a MOBA with guns. Yeah. Anyways, it's a fun fucking game. It's super punishing, but it's so immersive. Like, if you just sit there and just pretend you're like gonna die if you peek the wrong shit, you will be so convinced that you just like you'll be genuinely afraid to peek shit. Genuinely
the sounds afraid. In this game too, like when you kill somebody, their soldier like falls on the ground and screams.
Yeah.
It you feel like you might have just shot somebody. It's crazy, man.
The ragdoll mechanics, when you fucking one tap someone who's sprinting across the street.
In this game. There's nothing. You don't have ammo counts in your guns. You have a number of magazines on your soldier. Like, you spawn in, you have 3 extra clips, and you can check how many bullets is in like the mags.
It shows you like roughly, like your guy like
it
pulls
shows
the
like
mag out.
a graph, and it does not like it's never a number.
No.
Yeah.
But dude, like, if someone's running across the street and you gun them down, the momentum from their body mixed with the bullets you just hit them with, yeah, they just like flail, and they're just dude, it's so
There's no HUD.
satisfying.
It's the most satisfying game to kill somebody on I've ever played in my life.
No
My dad
points.
actually got me on this game.
No points show up or anything. It's not like, oh yeah, you just
No.
killed an enemy. It's just you watch their body go limp and just fall
It's
to
you
the
shoot
ground.
until they stop moving, basically. Yeah.
It's gnarly, dude. And the recoil's like pretty fucking accurate. It's game's fun, dude. It's fun.
Yeah.
Anyways, we're over time. This is gonna take way too
Are
long.
we?
Yeah, we're at an hour right now, and I hate it. So go ahead. And
You don't do the outro?
all right, yeah. That's gonna do it for the program. Of course, the broadcast for today. Remember, as always, you can find Sigg and his new haircut over at twitch.tv/justsig. That's JUSTSIGG, 2 G's. Change it, of course. And you can also find me. My name is Boopsy over at twitch.tv// of course. ITSBOOPSY. That's It's Boopsy. If you're looking for more content, that's where you are going to want to go. If you have not yet joined the Discord, go ahead and get the fuck in there, man. You guys are pissing me off. You can ask us podcast questions. You can find people to play with. You can give us feedback. We can talk about airport security and fucking 1984 for those of you who have read books in your lives. The link to the Discord will, of course, be in the description below. Thank you so much for tuning into this episode of the broadcast. We hope you enjoyed it, and we will see you next time. GG.
GG.